Howdy, it's Jim Murado, and this is early February 2025. We're in Morehead, Kentucky, and we are at the Kentucky Folk Art Center. Pretty famous place, really. I mean, you hear about it quite a bit. You see it mentioned in magazines, and admission is the very affordable price of nothing. It's free to go in, and it is exactly what it says it is. It's a folk art museum. Folk artists are not formally trained. They just sort of pick up art and go with it. So there's, and I think of Kentucky as a good place for folk artists. Um, I think most of us had a grandparent or a parent that, or you might, I think of myself as somewhat of a folk artist. It's, you're an untrained artist, and they display art that meets that criteria. Some of their artists have become pretty well known, and some of their pieces sell for a good amount of money. And there was their gift shop over there, by the way. While we were here again in early February, they were doing some shuffling around, and the second floor was not open. So they just had the first floor open. I should have called ahead. Of course, they told me if I would come back the following Monday, both floors would be open. But again, they do, they have kind of inconvenient hours. This particular piece, I love this. They've used that in merchandising for the Folk Art Museum, and I think that's really cool. I have several postcards of that, and I have a bookmark. They used to use it in more merchandising in years past, but I don't know why they still don't. They need to exploit that a little more. It's pretty cool. A lot of these pieces are cool, though, as you can tell. Again, I wanted to say though their hours are very limited. They're here Monday through Friday. They are not open on the weekends, and it seems like they need to resolve that. The weekends are when most people are available to visit. But yeah, I think most of us can find a weekday that we get off through the year that we could go down and see what's going on. Very cool sculptures, very cool paintings. I can't remember the artist. Last time I was here, I remember there was an artist. And they have little bios about the artists beside their work. And there was one that was colorblind. And he painted, and it was kind of interesting just thinking about that as you looked at the art. So another great artist that was in jail, and his sculptures were kind of inspired by his time in jail, and they had a very lifelike quality to them. I could go on and on. I'm not going to tell you about each artist here or what we're looking at. You can check that out yourself. More importantly, you should go down to the Folk Art Museum and check it out. Morehead is it's easily one of my top 5 favorite cities in Kentucky. It's got a lot more going on for it than people realize. The college is beautiful. The campus is beautiful. The town is beautiful. Big state school, but it feels more like a cool private school to me. They also have a great local military museum. It has very limited hours too. In fact, I think it's only open a couple Saturdays during the month. So I don't think you can visit the Folk Art Museum and their military museum on the same day. There's a cool bookstore / coffee shop, the Fuzzy Duck, and it's like in an old theater. Beautiful place. I'm sure I've put up a video about that before. But I always find nice books there, and they have very good coffee. Of course, Morehead, to me, oh, by the way, I really love this old sculpture. There's always something special, too, about a piece that's damaged, but still has a cool and interesting look to it. Love these pieces, too. Anyway, there's a great restaurant in town, Ruta Baker's. Used to be a sit-down restaurant. I think it's just takeout at this point. But something my wife and I have done is we'll stop by there and get a nice little box lunch and then go out to the park in town and enjoy that. But Rutabaker's is also that's probably one of my top 5 favorite restaurants in Kentucky. So yeah, Morehead is definitely worth a visit, and I enjoy making it out there anytime I can. And it's extra special if I get there on a weekday and can visit the Folk Art Museum. I love this. This is a one piece of several tiny little paintings, and I thought that was great. The museum gift shop does have some postcards with some of the art on it. They've also got some books, some very nice books devoted to each of several artists. So that's something very nice. They had some cool carved walking sticks. Of course, you can buy some art and some prints in the gift shop. I was here actually probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I liked the selection in the gift shop more back then. They actually had some stuffed animals made inspired by some of the pieces here. And of course, it's a folk art museum. You're going to get some crazy pieces like that or like that. Obviously interesting stuff. And it's fun just to kind of look at it and figure out what kind of material was used in the process and what inspired the artist. And again, let me recommend that you take a weekday and drive down to Morehead. Stop by Fuzzy Duck. Get there early and go to Fuzzy Duck and enjoy some coffee. Sit there, chat with the locals. Local students will come in there. Just a nice place, and their coffee is very good. They have breakfast food too. I believe they have lunch stuff there. I've never had lunch there though. Then go in the back and look at some books. Stop by the Folk Art Museum. Take your time going through. Have lunch. Get your lunch at Rutabaker's and go have a little picnic lunch out in the park. Make sure you walk around campus some. They have a very nice bookstore too on campus. It's pretty large, by the way. Anyway, yeah, just thought I would mention the Kentucky Folk Art Museum in Morehead, Kentucky.